This is the August 26, 2024 South Bend City Council meeting.
Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. All right, so our first item on the agenda is the items from the public, and we have Willapa Harbor Hospital that is asked to give a short presentation.
Thank you. Mayor, council people, everybody else. I'm Sherry McDonald, and I've been working with the hospital for several months now, looking at the potential of upgrading the facilities. So I just wanted to first start out by saying that clearly we heard that the bond proposal that was voted on in February was too expensive. So we're doing a number of things to try to figure out how to approach the whole thing differently. So we're researching a number of different funding sources. We have submitted an application for preliminary loan approval to the USDA. So USDA does fund hospital infrastructure projects. And so this is kind of like from the perspective, if you were applying for a mortgage, it's a pre-approval process. And so there's no obligation unless or until the project were to take place. We have approached state legislators for funding, so we're going with that process to work with the state legislature to see if we can get some help from them. We've also talked with our senators and our representative to the same thing. Those processes for federal money don't start until March, so we have to wait for that process to go, but we're doing preliminary work with that. We're exploring the community development block grant, which could also be quite helpful for this project. We're also looking at private foundation grants with Murdoch and Cheney. Those are the ones that are currently active in the community. So I know you all know that Cheney has been really generous in this community. And so all of those funding sources, we are way more competitive if we have a community commitment to moving a project forward for building a new hospital or rebuilding or whatever the process is that the board chooses. So speaking of that, we have formed what we're calling a technical advisory group. And this group of people is, the board has appointed 9 people to this group. And they're meeting 6 times, they've met once. The purpose of this group is to provide guidance, insights to the board about a medical facility that the community will support and that will provide modern medical care for North Pacific County for at least 50 years. That's what we're trying to get to. So we're trying to look forward for modern medical care in this community. So the group has asked a number of different questions, and we're meeting again this week on Wednesday. And at that meeting, we're going to be talking with the architects and folks about the building up there, the buildings up in the current campus, as well as the proposals that have been put forth. We are making all of the consultants that the board has talked with available to this group to ask questions. I mean, it's the whole point is to see, have we missed something? Is there something better that we can do? So we did provide you with a number of different handouts, so I hope that you had some time to take a look at those. And we're here really just to see if you have other questions or other issues that you think we ought to be talking about. It is.
The funding, is that for either or choice, whether the new hospital or to revamp the existing facility?
We're looking for money that will relieve the taxpayers. We have to do something with that facility, with that campus up there.
Okay, so either way.
We're looking for money.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes.
Depending on how the election goes in November, I've heard that the ACA might be on the chopping block along with possibly Medicare, Medicaid funding, how would that impact our hospital?
Well, all of those things, Medicare, Medicaid, private insurance, those things are vital to keeping the medical system open. And not just here, but everywhere.
Everywhere.
It will affect the entire medical system. So, that hospital, I mean, they're in comparatively good shape financially compared to other hospitals their size. The fact is, if something as drastic as reductions in the ACA or Medicaid were to come to pass, we would have a big problem, way big problem. So it's not just, and remember, it's not just about this hospital. It's
No, I
about the
understand
entire
that.
system. So I
Something
don't
to
know
think
what else
about.
might happen, so.
The other question I have, what are the demographics of the 9 people on the board?
I can tell you who they are. Would you like to know who they are? So Jerry Bowman is one. Bethany Barnard, do you know Bethany? Jerry Doyle, County Commissioner. Ian Farrell, Scott McDougall, Marcelina Medina. Do you know Marcelina? She works as in the emergency preparedness for the county as well. Eric Petit, Terry Pettit, and Denise Portman.
Anybody there that makes the median household income in our North
Well, we didn't
Pacific
ask about
County?
that background when the group looked at them, but my bet is that at least a couple of them,
Make less than 40,000 a year.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know. We didn't ask that.
I mean, I was
question,
just
so-
thinking if you want to a cross section of people, the majority of our residents here in the North County are pretty close to poverty. So their input would be
Yeah.
something.
Well, if they don't make that little amount of money, the people that are part of this group certainly know people that do and are aware. of
Representing them.
issues. Yeah. Yes.
On one of your charts here, it says the phased remodel of current campus versus the new site. It says that the revamping would cost more and take longer, but on another chart, it's less money and takes just 3 months longer. So I'm wondering if there's,
Let me just take a look at what you're looking at so I can see. Yes, there we go. Does it look like this and it says comparison of options? Is that the one you're looking at?
best on, a new hospital campus is the best option for our
This
community.
one here?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
and then the other one is said comparison of options.
Which is, yeah, the backside. which is
Yeah,
open
so
at the
it's,
bottom.
yeah, so it's,
Oh, it's,
this is actually a handout that we had.
well,
created.
I know, it just seems to be contradictory, because it doesn't cost more, it costs half as much, and it's only 3 months longer, so,
So you're looking at the retrofit reconstruct.
right,
Versus
build campus on new
build a
site.
new site. Yeah, so, the retrofit, I mean, that's that campus that's up there now. Just taking those buildings and retrofitting them, like bringing them up to code. It wouldn't expand, any space. The space is an issue. We wouldn't have.
Well, I
any additional
understand
space,
that,
so-
it's just that what it says here,
Yeah, so it would take 33 months for the retrofit and it would take about 30 months to build a new hospital.
what, well, that's not, I wouldn't consider that, it takes more time. And it said costs more and takes longer for the retrofit, and it doesn't, except for the 3 months,
Well,
So,
but you
I
have
don't
to
know, it's
factor
just
the lost
confusing.
revenue.
huh?
You have to factor the lost revenue.
Well, there's another thing, the lost revenue, apparently it's because, you have to shut down entire groups.
Right.
For instance, like X-ray, we already have, nuclear medicine come in on a trailer. Couldn't that also happen with all of the X-ray, the mammogram, the X-ray, whatever?
That's entirely possible.
And the same thing with all of the administrative work. You wouldn't have to close down administrative buildings, they could work out of a trailer. I mean, construction people do it all the time, I guess. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out, have all of the outside of the box options been looked at for the retrofit? And not just to make, I'm in favor of a new hospital. I am, but I'm looking at all of this and I know that there's some people in this city who would vote down a $1 increase in their taxes. So I know that that's a sensitive subject, which brings me to another question. What exactly is the cost to a person? Is it $1.60 per thousand? Is it, what is it?
So,
And what would it be? What's the difference between the retrofit and the new hospital? As
So-
far as how much money it would, what the average homeowner would be looking at and as their increase, $1.60 a thousand means that's everybody, $1.60 if you have a $100,000 house, or $100,000 per thousand if you have a $600,000 house. But what would it be for the retrofit? What would the cost per thousand increase property taxes?
so if we were to pass a bond, it would depend on how the bond is structured.
Sure.
And and depending on a whole number of things like the amount of valuation. So for instance, the valuation, if the valuation goes up, that because it's a fixed loan, the actual cost per thousand goes down. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So it's a fixed loan. The current proposal for a new campus would be the 92 million, and so that was at the valuation when the bond was put forth would have been $1.66 per thousand, but the new valuation, because the valuation went up for whole area, it would have gone down to $1.42 per thousand. So, and if you think that just doing the retrofit on-site, think roughly half of that, and just a bit longer of doing it. But remember, the retrofit on-site isn't going to give you any new space. It's not going to reconfigure any efficiency in the current
Well, what about
campus.
going up instead of out?
It's not possible because of the structure.
The structure itself, if we were to retrofit that structure to go up, it's not possible because of how it's constructed. It was not constructed in the 50s to have a second story.
And that can't be rectified?
Well, that's a good question, and we will ask the architects on Wednesday that very question.
Okay.
I
Jerry?
think what it really means is that you have to redo the entire structure, but I'm not a structural engineer, so I don't know. But you would have to have enough on the basement part
To
to
hold
make it to support
Reinforce
as a second structure, a second story.
And the 92 million, that's been from the beginning of the project, right? Estimated from when the hospital first started. And that hasn't changed in the 2 years that this discussion has been going on.
Well,
I mean, everything.
everything has
goes
gone up, and the common wisdom is that each year is about 5% more, although what a person told me, a builder told me that it wasn't quite that much this last year. And there is contingencies built into that 92 million that could possibly help offset some of that 5%. Also, if we get a really good, if we get a good interest rate on a loan, it would offset some of that.
Yeah, and rates projected to go down.
So,
Okay, and now our roads and, all, everything like roads, is that all figured in? That's
part of the 92, yes.
That
It's
is
about
part of the
4.5
92.
million is projected for the road construction.
Okay. Now, what happens if if it is decided that retrofit is the way to go? What happens to the property that we now own?
The board would have to decide what to do with that.
Figure out how to get their money back.
I mean, I'm selling it, it would help offset the price, right?
Well, I'm dominating, sorry.
So 92 million, is that just your base price on the capital project itself?
That's the all-in, that's
Okay.
the,
So
That's the
what's the
pro-
final amount at the end of the term of the loan? Have we figured that out yet?
Well,
Or with interest?
well, as a former lender, you don't calculate loans that way because if
It's a
it's paid
cost.
off early or paid extra payments or whatever, it's gonna decrease the total amount.
Well, yeah, it'll increase the total amount.
Decrease. If you pay it off early.
Well, if you
Yeah.
can pay it off early, but I mean,
And
But
we
I-
don't know what the
but I
interest
think
rate
it-
is yet either.
you know, when you sit and look at something for the cost of the taxpayers, they probably wanna know, you know, baseline, what's this thing gonna cost at the end of 30 years? Because right now you guys are saying, well, it costs $92 million today, but at the end of 30 years, how much is that?
I don't think people.
That thing's 3 times that.
Yeah.
This thing ain't 92 million, this thing's 300 million.
The last bond the hospital had, was actually, we didn't pay it off early, but we had the money, because money has to be allocated to go to what, the bond or whatever, you know, it's the way it's collected. But the taxpayers didn't pay the full amount, because we already had the money to pay it off. So they weren't assessed a higher amount
Mhm.
at the end.
I myself, I mean, just as a taxpayer, that's what I look at, because when I go out and buy a car, I don't say, well, this car's only gonna cost me $20,000. No, this car is gonna cost me 25,000, 26,000. You know, you gotta look at what the interest is. This is money being thrown away for interest because you don't have that to put towards principal. So,
Right,
you know,
but
if
the
you don't have
hospitals
anything to put towards
can't-
principal, you're going backwards.
Right.
You don't go out and buy a house with 0 down.
But you're talking about a fixed interest loan though, right?
Fixed
Right,
interest.
it would be a fixed.
It's a
loan.
fixed loan, okay.
Better wait a couple
Darren,
of years.
did you have a question? I thought you did.
I do, might not be popular, but, being born and raised South Bend, like several of the people in here, love my city. Financially, this will not be a benefit to the city of South Bend. This will be, could be a pretty good hit to a lot, especially the smaller businesses that barely make it, that rely on, lunch crowds, morning crowds. And then we lose our tax base too. So it's a struggle sitting on city council, looking at the numbers, wanting. And I know you guys want support from us, but that weighs on me quite a bit about this. And I understand, I mean, I was hauling patients into the hospital before the last remodel when the ER was just that little slot. And so I hauled patients during the remodel during that time. So I understand the need for upgrades, because I've been in and out of every bit of that place and yeah. So I understand that, but it's really hard for me to be all in as a city council person, knowing that it's gonna negatively affect the city.
Well,
Yeah.
and as a hospital commissioner, being born and raised in South Bend, I hated the thought of it leaving South Bend as well. But the property that we needed to find for a new facility, there was a list of criteria it had to fit. There was nothing in South Bend. There was nothing.
I have, what's the hospital census now, the average
Do you
Patient census.
inpatient, outpatient?
inpatient census? What,
So remember, this is more than just the inpatient. So probably the average census is maybe 3 people inpatient at a time. But it's the rest of what goes on up there. So for instance, last year there were 15,000 visits to the clinics, to the primary care clinics. So it's more than just the inpatient. There were so many thousands of lab
Right. I'm just wondering how much the hospital is used for people that are sick or we're just flying them out. Census used to be 8, 9, 10,
Oh, yeah,
and
it's,
so it's,
absolutely, medicine has
so-
changed. in a
so
big
it's
way.
dropped down to 3 patients is the
And
average.
remember that there's also, those inpatients beds are also used for things like observation for somebody who has been in the ER and needs to either wait to find a place to go that they need to go, or they just need to be observed for some time to see if they do need to be admitted.
Right.
The
That's
other,
included in the 3, or is that just,
no, that's not included in 3.
And the new facility will be more than just the hospital, it'll be all, it's gonna be a medical center, with the doctor's offices, everything in one.
that was my other question. Why do the hot doctors' hospitals have to be up on the campus? If they were all moved out and the billing office, couldn't we use all of that property?
What happens with that whole, it's a system, to speak. So if you're a patient that goes to have your visit with your primary care doc, you also have access to the lab and the x-ray and all the other diagnostic issues in that other building.
Well,
So
yeah,
it's a whole system.
that's a luxury, for a lot of hospitals. The doctor's offices aren't right there, so you can walk right over. I'm just as an alternative, putting a second building and, maybe the ER and some patient rooms on another plot of property and, move the doctors.
That's certainly something to be talking about, and I believe that was one that the board has also kind of tossed around as well. But it's about an efficient use of the whole system. Because right now, they also have staff that rotate between the different aspects of what goes on there. So it's,
We used to do it from Raymond, so.
yeah,
When I worked for a doctor in Raymond, so I mean, it's convenient. But doctor's offices can draw the blood and courier it to the hospital and. Anyway,
But we did look at that, Jan, having everything stay in South Bend until we found out the Alden House property we couldn't use.
well, there's 3, 4 buildings up there that could be used.
Well, problem is we're out of space right now.
No, I mean, if you move the clinics off the hill
Oh, I see.
and, put them, so there's property around, for sale, that you could put the doctor's offices down there. I hate to see it leave South Bend too. I mean, that's one of my big issues, is that it'll impact the city of South Bend hugely. And from what I've seen with the hospital in the recent years is that we need another helicopter pad and a bigger area to, look over patients, and then we ship them out. Very seldom do people stay sick up at the hospital. They're either there for hospice or they get shipped to another hospital.
as long as you can find another hospital for them to get to, so, yeah, that's.
Yeah, but I don't know if we'll ever have the doctor staff
It's a whole
to,
system that's a.
Yeah.
It's, yeah,
and also recruiting is not easy, as you know.
it's never easy in medicine.
Never has been, and this is not an area that doctors' families in general, are excited about coming. Our schools are limited and
Shopping.
so many other
cultural.
things. But that, that's a whole different story that,
That's a favorite industry in the area. Yeah. To try to recruit people.
Okay, well, thanks. Are we ready to move on?
Thank you
All right,
very much
thank
for your
you.
time, and if you have other questions or comments or anything, let us know. We'd be happy to hear them.
When is the next public
Thank you.
meeting?
The next public hospital board meeting is
Well, no,
actually,
the public meeting where where you guys come and fill up the theater or the community center or
So
something like that.
we haven't scheduled anything like that because we don't know what we're gonna talk to people about. I mean, it's those meetings were designed so that we could talk about a proposal that would be around, and we don't have a proposal at this point. We
But
are
the-
exploring options.
The hospital board meetings are open to the public and the next one's tomorrow night.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to item 4. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda, the consent agenda, and the minutes from August 12th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to correspondence. I received this letter from Monica Squire concerning mosquitoes, and she asked that I share it with you, so it has been shared in the packet. So you've all had a chance to read it, and that's what she asked, is that it be shared with you. So she is concerned about the mosquitoes down in the area.
They are bad down in there.
They always have been.
And I don't-
And it's difficult to control down there.
When he sprays, do they drive and do it?
Yes.
Do they hit my cars there instead of my yard, or do they not spray my area?
I have no idea.
It's a
Well, I
fog,
mean,
isn't it?
I'm not
Then it's-
there when he does it.
Yeah, it's just a fog.
It's a fog that goes
Yeah.
out and, yeah,
Yeah, that's what he does.
It's becoming more important because I always heard just this morning, I don't know, maybe it was NPR, that there's an upswing in new diseases.
Massachusetts has a big one going on.
Well, Massachusetts is, you know, as the mosquito flies could happen here tomorrow.
It also, and just to, he did get this letter also, so he knows her concerns.
Yeah.
And also, it depends on if your neighbors have opted out also.
How many people are opting out?
There is a lot that opt out. I don't know the exact number. I could probably ask him or get it from, Edward. But,
Can you
that
find
does-
out if your neighbors opted out by coming in and asking you? Or
I'm not sure. You can, so on our website also, you can, there's a ton of information and you can contact him directly through our website, and he is very good about responding back. So, but I do know that if you have people around you that have opted out, that does affect, the
Absolutely.
service that you're gonna
Absolutely.
see and the mosquitoes that you're gonna see at your residence also.
Is there a
So-
point when the public health is an issue and opting out is not an option?
I'm not sure on that. I can't answer that. I just wanted to let you know that he did receive this letter, and that is something also. When people opt out, it does affect the neighbors,
Yep.
Yeah.
so.
People are that worried about it. For $90, you can go on Amazon and fog your own place.
Mhm.
I mean, you can buy the Black Flag one and little propane camp
Well-
bottle deal, handheld.
Then I want
For
my
95
money back,
bucks.
I want my money back from the city for spraying.
All right. Moving on. Fireworks survey. You have a sample sheet in the back. Are you happy with it? You want
No.
to change it? You're not happy with it.
Of course not.
Why are you
surprised?
not happy with it?
Well,
Yeah.
keep fireworks law the same, period. Or complete ban, and it should be on the sale and use of fireworks. Not, it just says ban on fireworks, but I would prefer that it say the sale and use of fireworks. And I know
Well,
somebody's
if they
gonna
were
say,
banned within the city, you wouldn't be able to sell them
Wouldn't be able to
within
sell
the
them.
"Of
city.
course you could."
No,
You wouldn't be able to?
no,
Well, I
because
think-
there's a ban.
It's a ban, you couldn't sell them.
You can't have them. You can't have them, you can't sell them, you
Okay,
can't
as long
use
as
them.
that's
Yeah.
understood.
So does
by
that also
others.
mean that we can't do Labor Day fireworks after this, if it does become banned? Cause it's a ban.
That's true. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a ban. I say,
Well,
okay.
normally it doesn't affect
Not
public show.
public
yeah.
What makes us
displays.
any better than that, the general public?
Mhm.
What?
What makes us any better than the general public?
Well, professional shows
Say,
are,
hopefully it's
are in
more
a different, category than the public use.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe we ought to look at having a professional show for the 4th of July if it goes.
Yeah, that'd be
You
good.
can afford it.
Yeah.
The
I just
12
hate to
minute
see the
show
kids
in
with
town
that
is
kid.
about 12 grand, so.
I would just hate to see kids lose the 4th of July.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
I definitely wouldn't vote that way.
Let's keep it to the topic at hand. This is the survey that would go out and keep fireworks law the same. And what we have done, past the colon is say what the current rules are, what the current times are that they can be. It's just a description of what the current law is.
Right.
That's the part that would not change, that you can do it from 10 AM to 10 PM on the 3rd and 10 AM to midnight on the 4th. And that part would not change if it is allowed to stay the same. And then the second choice is a complete ban. So, I mean, is that okay, or do you want to change it? What do you want to do?
Oh, it's all right.
How would this go out? How would?
It would go with the water bills.
In the bills.
And it would also
And-
be accessible on the website.
Okay. It does say one
One
per
per
household.
Correct.
Is that the way,
That's how it was before.
how it was before?
Yeah.
What percentage did you get back last time?
I have
Any
no
idea?
idea.
It wasn't great.
It's like
It wasn't
70
great.
or 90 or.
And we tried to
Not
look to
percent.
find the old one and we couldn't
Okay.
find it. So
Okay.
I don't know what happened to it or,
How much
Okay.
time are you gonna give people to turn it in?
well, that's
need to
what
talk
needs to
about
be
that.
discussed
See.
because it needs to be turned in by this and how long do you want it to go for? If you decide to,
1 month.
that this is fine, it can go out, I can get it to Kim tomorrow, it can go out this week in the bills. And then I just need to know what the end date of when you want it turned in by. That's
How
why
many-
that was left blank.
So,
I would give it at least.
We have a lot of paperless people now.
Yeah, I would give it at least 2 months.
They-
I don't get a bill, so, you know,
But you can access it online,
right.
your
but I-
bill online.
But you wouldn't know that there was a firework thing in there
Mhm.
if you don't
Oh,
get a
all
bill.
right, I'm gonna write letters. The paper.
I mean, we can put this form on our website also, and they'll be available here at City Hall. I mean, I don't know how else to
Yeah,
get it
I
out.
don't either.
Yeah.
I guess Pat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an extra cost to get it sent out with the bills also. So,
So do you want it for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks? What do you want?
Oh, at least 8 weeks.
For 2 months?
Yeah, 2 months.
So by,
Much time, people forget all about it.
That's what I'm thinking too. I thought a month would be good, but
you want the end of September, the end of October?
End of October, because by the time they get their bills, it'll be.
so do you want it like
People probably don't even open
10/31?
10/31 works.
Halloween. Halloween, baby.
okay. Comment.
Yes.
I think you had his hand up first.
So, yeah, so one other thing we gotta think about is, you know, if they're gonna be writing tickets for this stuff, we need to realize that this is gonna start affecting people if we're writing tickets, so. I wanna know, is this gonna be a civil ticket? Is this gonna be a criminal ticket? Cause I don't wanna see some kid that just barely became an adult end up with a criminal record over lighting a firework. And this first time that he lights a firework, he gets a criminal infraction.
Yeah.
That's not
Chief, can you
fair.
weigh in on that?
That's not
Is
fair.
it
Don't
is
light
it
a
an infraction?
firework. Well, it's not fair.
Let
They're
Chief
kids.
talk.
Yeah, so currently the where our statute is right now, it is a criminal offense. We do not have an option to cite somebody as an infraction, but that is something that the council can certainly modify our ordinance that we can build in there, similar to what we do with like dog leash law violations, where there's a first offense, second offense are infractions that are just like a $75 infraction. And then maybe the third offense is an actual criminal violation. But that's something that you guys would have to decide.
Sure.
But right now, as it stands, it is a criminal offense. You can get arrested for it. It's a misdemeanor. It's 90 days in jail, $1,000 fine. You can go to jail. And that's.
Yeah, I don't want to see some young kid at the age of 18 who's just doing 18-year-old kid stuff not eligible for a government job because we were so adamant about getting rid of fireworks and destroyed some kid's life. To me, that's just, that's insane.
Well, we can change it, like
Yeah.
you said, you know, if it passes where they want a complete ban, then I think.
When
we
I was
need to
18, I would've
change
done
it
that.
And make it a graduated.
I just got a question for the chief. Chief, if, don't you think it would be better, even if we keep fireworks on, I'm just saying if it, you know, is left the way it is, to change that statute anyway? Because as it is right now, it's pretty tough for you guys to go out and write those tickets, knowing exactly what it entails and what the outcome could be.
Yes, I think, what we do right now is we give people the benefit of the doubt. And on July 1st and 2nd and 5th and 6th, they get the warning, hey, you're done. If I come back here, you're getting a ticket. And they'll get a criminal ticket and they'll have to come to court and deal with it. So it seems to work. For the last 2 years, we haven't had to go back to the same person twice.
Right.
We gave them their warning, we told them the consequence, and then after that, we didn't have to come back. But if we did, then we were prepared to go ahead and cite them criminally, and they would have to come to court. But yeah, if there was an infraction option that it was a $75 fine, I can't say for certain that guys would be quicker to write tickets, but you know, that's certainly something to look at. I'm not opposed to the idea of putting progressive steps in our fireworks ordinance.
Yeah, no, I get it, I get it.
Mayor.
Yeah.
One per household. We have a lot of renters in our community too, that their voices should be heard too, shouldn't they?
Renters are generally in a separate unit, so that, and they're considered separate. That's a separate
apartments.
household.
Apartments, they're all gonna be,
Well, they'd have to
Okay.
put their apartment number, like each, yeah.
do they get an individual bill per apartment? Or are they paying just to the apartment? It's included in their, you know, you get what I'm
Right,
getting at.
like,
There's
I'm not
members of the
sure,
community that aren't
yeah.
gonna get
Up
touched by
here, I
this.
think, yeah, they don't get a separate bill because I think it's included into their,
In their rent.
correct. But like, there's other units that it goes directly to the renter, so. Again, I don't know how else
Right.
we
I know
can get
can't
it
make
out
up,
there.
I get it.
without,
I'll take
mean-
it around to the apartments, it's not a problem. I can go in there and just hand each apartment one.
So-
There aren't that many.
I just have one other question. When you talked about the cost of this, do you have any idea roughly what it'll cost to send these out?
I don't,
Okay.
I can find out. That would be, Kim is the one that,
You guys
Deals
mail
with
it them
that.
here?
no,
No, they come out with the billing.
the bills are, not done.
I can't remember how much it is per page.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's
to send it. It's a
yeah.
per page, a per piece amount, and I don't
Right.
remember what that
I
charge
don't
is.
either.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, just curious.
all right. So we've designated October 31st as the time to have this back. And I will go to the apartment buildings and hand out flyers, these surveys to them so that everyone gets one there. Do we have any other changes or comments on this before we take a vote?
Do you want me to add sale and use of fireworks so it's more clear to the complete ban?
We could,
Yeah, it's gonna mean
Yeah.
the same thing, but yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're at sale and use, complete ban on sale and use of fireworks.
In the city of South Bend.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I would entertain a motion to, post the fireworks survey, mail it out, hand it out, distribute it, however we get it out there to people. Go out in the mailing on
It'll go out on September's bill.
September's bill,
Yeah.
yeah, and due by October 31st. All in favor?
I.
Oh, I guess I need a motion, don't I?
So
Sorry.
moved.
And a second?
Second.
Now in favor?
Aye.
Are any opposed? All right, motion carries. We will send out a survey. Thank you. Okay, department head reports. Chief Steele.
So some of you may have noticed last weekend or this past weekend, the guys have been pretty busy. We had some traffic safety emphasis that the guys were using and trying to get as much of the traffic safety monies used up because we're coming towards the end of that. So the guys were busy all weekend. They did a good job. We're gearing up for Labor Day. It's going to be a busy weekend for us again. And the other last thing I have is we have our 2 new patrol vehicles completely done, outfitted, and on the road. So now we are sitting at 3 of the 5 vehicles we have are hybrid, and they're getting great fuel mileage. I'm really excited about that, and thankful to USDA. We finally got our reimbursement from them. So out of the $129,000 it costs to purchase the 2 new vehicles and completely upfit them, it only cost the city and taxpayers about $32,000. So that was pretty helpful from USDA. We are working with USDA on one more grant through the police department for some security camera upgrades for City Hall and the surrounding downtown areas. That will be coming to you next meeting, Zoe.
Correct.
So that'll be coming to you next meeting to talk about. So again, thankful to USDA. They've been great to us. That's all I have.
Thank you. Supervisor Howe.
I just have one item. We should be going to ad shortly for the Madison Street Safe Routes to School project. It's been a long time coming, so hopefully that takes place and we get a good bid on that. Hopefully we're hoping we should, since I know the kind of the build season's winding down. The unfortunate thing is it'll probably be happening during school. And so we're kind of trying to avoid that, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. Thankfully, it's not real reconstruction or anything like that. It's just a sidewalk, so we should be fairly good there. But we wanted to go ahead and do it this year rather than push it to next year. We have a lot of projects going on next year, so we should probably get one of them out of the way if we can. But other than that, that's all I have. Oh, and we've been getting ready for, of course, Labor Day, so we've been pretty busy doing that.
Clerk Treasurer Sol.
Just to remind everybody that this weekend is Labor Day, so there will be stuff going on. Saturday, well, starting Friday night, Saturday parade on Sunday. So, and you know, we have our ducks and everything too to help support Labor Day and the fireworks show on Sunday night. So the volunteer firefighters and different Labor Day committee members are selling tickets. So I hope to see everybody come to South Bend for Labor Day.
Very good. That's all I have to talk about. Labor Day, you stole my thunder.
Sorry.
That's all right. It's good. I did want to publicly thank Council Manlow for filling in for me while I was away at the last meeting. I appreciate that. Sounds like everything went well. So let's move on to public comments. Do we have any public comments regarding our current agenda items? The fireworks survey? Nope. Okay. Council comments. Let's start with Councilor Williams.
Nothing here.
Councilor Davis.
Have we heard anything from the library on the report on the library?
No. No, not since they met with us here. Councilor Corcoran.
Did I miss an overhead banner that come and play at Labor Day? Don't we usually have a banner somewhere in town?
Normally we do, we did not this year.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah,
Do you need a banner?
no,
Oh,
no, we have one. Unfortunately, I was away the first 2 weeks of August when it usually gets put up. I didn't think about it until a few days ago. So you can blame that on me for not organizing someone else to see to it that that was done when I was away for 2 weeks, but it's just one of those things that slipped my mind. So apologize for that, but no, we do have a banner. It's in the storage room here. It just didn't happen. So one of those things that slipped through the cracks this year.
I thought I had something else, but my train got derailed.
Oh, okay. All
My
right.
train of thought got derailed.
Counselor Manlow
No.
and Counselor Piken.
I'm excited for Labor Day and excited to see fireworks back. I think that's a great thing that the community's always wanted. They definitely have missed it, so
Mhm.
I'm excited to see that back. So if anybody wants tickets, come see me. That's all I got.
All right. Do we have any future agenda topics? Seeing nothing, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
This has been the August 26, 2024 South Bend City Council meeting. The next South Bend City Council meeting will be held on September 9, 2024.